Joining me right now is Tennessee Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn. Congresswoman, look, we promised we would do this. Israel's our ally. We need to respect the sovereignty of our allies. Finally, we have. But what do you say about those that are saying, oh, well, you know, this is unfair and these people are being killed through excessive force of Israelis? Because I'm pretty sure they'd tell you, the Israelis would, that they're doing just simply what they need to do to keep their side safe.
And what we have to look at, Trish, is that the loss of life is unfortunate. But we should not be surprised by the violence because Hamas is a terrorist organization. They're always looking for some reason to spur some more violence in this region and the disruption that leads to that violence. So that ought not to surprise us, but that is not a reason for us to not move our embassy. This is something that had been agreed to in '95. It has been waved off time and again. President Trump has taken that action and made that move, and I'm very appreciative that he did. For the last two Congresses, I've had a resolution supporting this move, and it has been a bipartisan resolution. So this is the right step. We should be standing with Israel. We ought not to be surprised, but of course we're disappointed. And to see the loss of life is disheartening, but we have to stand with Israel.
And we've got reports of bribes that Hamas is offering. You know, this has to change at some point, Congresswoman.
You're right.
And the president is hopeful that us sort of making our claim over there, so to speak, in that we're saying we defend Israel, we stand with Israel, Israel is our ally. What kind of message does that send to all the neighbors there in the Middle East and around the world?
I think it sends a message that this administration is focused on peace through strength, and that we're going to stand with our allies, and bad actors are going to be held accountable. And when you look at the new axis of evil, as I call it, Russia, Iran, China, North Korea, you see the message that is being sent, whether it's on the economic front, the cyber front, or looking at the national security, the message that is coming consistently from this administration.
Right. Well, so I'm going to
play
play devil's advocate for you here, Congresswoman. And some would say, including Marco Rubio, and if we still have that sound from Marco Rubio, we can play it. I'm just letting the control room know, because he's been pretty outspoken about the Chinese telecom company that the president is trying to help along here. And his sense of things is that we are not looking at a consistent message because the administration is picking out one little winner. What do you say in response?
Well, I actually have a hearing that I'm chairing tomorrow on the supply chain issue and looking at the cybersecurity issues. And I think the Commerce Department probably moved forward as an law enforcement issue, security enforcement issue with ZTE. Huawei and ZTE, we know that there has been a tendency, especially with Huawei, to embed malware and spyware. So caution is very important. I think this may lead to China stepping back from some of the tariffs that they want to place. I think it will bring them into negotiate. We have to be consistent.
You know what? I'm going to jump in because we have some breaking
message.
news and some headlines, and I would like your reaction, Representative. We're getting some reports right now. This is South Korean media is reporting that North Korea is threatening to cancel its meeting with President Trump in June over joint U.S.-South Korean military drills. Again, these headlines just crossing, and the same media is reporting that North Korea has already canceled its summit with South Korea. What's your reaction to this? Do you believe that Kim Jong-un is willing to risk it all by canceling his summit in Singapore with the President of the United States of America, Congresswoman?
I haven't seen that report, Trish, but I would say that it has been hopeful that Kim Jong-un would make this meeting. I think he will probably continue to push to make this meeting. I don't know what he is pushing forward on today. As I said, I haven't seen the reports.
Well, they just crossed. I mean, this is, again, South Korean.
Here's the thing.
Reports.
We have tried, and previous presidents have tried, to get North Korea to the negotiating table. We know, as you look at Iran, the Iran deal was not a good deal, and the president was right to take his action there. There again, standing with our ally Israel, supporting South Korea, Japan, these countries that are focused on
we just
peace.
want to make sure that the likes of Kim Jong-un aren't kind of messing with us here, because that would be the concern, right? That he's all in, and then suddenly he's not, and you'd have to just ask why. But again, these are just reports that we're getting, headlines that are crossing, so we'll continue diving into them. And Congresswoman Blackburn, it is so good to see you. Thank you.
Good to see you. Thank you.